Beyond the Badge is brought to you by the Edina Crime Prevention Fund.
It's been just over a year since a gunman ambushed and shot a New Hope police officer after a swearing-in ceremony at New Hope City Hall. The gunman was killed during the ensuing gunfire that left 2 other officers in the hospital. Now, one of those officers, Beau Schoenhard, is working for the Edina Police Department. He sat down with Edina TV's Eernisse and shared his experience.
I solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and of the state of Minnesota.
January 26, 2015 was supposed to be a celebratory night.
I was there with my wife and son. I'm friends with one of the officers that was getting sworn in.
Officer Beau Schoenhard and his friend and fellow officer Josh Eernisse had just come from Eernisse's swearing-in ceremony.
Our wives were going to meet for the first time, and we were going to go out to dinner.
On their way out, Schoenhard noticed a man brandishing a weapon.
Came up the steps of City Hall and shot one time as I grabbed him in the shotgun.
Get down.
It was dead quiet. And then people start moving around and yelling, and I heard my son crying, but I couldn't see my wife or my son.
Somebody got shot. Stay down.
Beau's wife, Bridget, grabbed their son, Broderick, and ran as other officers returned fire, striking the gunman and Beau.
Go away from this.
I felt the round go through my arm. I thought it was 2 rounds, but it was just one. Entered and exited. And at first, nothing, and then searing pain, and I think probably the broken bones hurt more than the bullet holes.
Hospital staff quickly went to work setting his bones. And although his stay lasted only a short while, Beau received some bad news.
Early on, they said, we don't know what's going to happen. You may never have feeling in your hand again. You may not be able to be a police officer again. My biggest fear was that, I could do the job, but then it wouldn't be medically cleared.
He also had to see how his family felt about returning to a job after witnessing the shooting.
There was a time when people were asking me, what if your wife said, I don't want you to go back to that, her being there and experiencing trauma in that situation, and I said I would do what she asked.
However, the shooting had the opposite effect. Bridget and both sides of their families offered Beau their full support. As months went by, that support and Beau's determination to get a job with Edina's police department helped drive him through rehabilitation.
He wanted to come to Edina. He had been applying in Edina. He was in our current process when that shooting took place. And then that took him out of not only our process, but possibly law enforcement as a career.
Edina Police Chief Dave Nelson says Beau showed perseverance and expects him to be a valuable addition to Edina's police force.
And he kept telling us that this is where he wants to finish his career. He wants to move to Edina and raise his family in Edina. And the skills that he had developed over the past 7 years in New Hope, consisted of being a field training officer, a use of enforce instructor, a range officer, and an armorer. All those are skills that we can use in Edina.
I feel very welcome. Everybody's been just fantastic. It's a dream come true.
And offers a new occasion to celebrate instead of dwell on what happened January 26, 2015. In Edina, Eernisse, Edina TV.
Just like every new Edina officer, Beau will spend the next 3 to 4 months training alongside another officer before being on his own.